High school sports, we've got it covered. Overtime starts now.
Hello and welcome to Overtime. I'm Drew Collins.
And I'm Scott Leber. We have highlights from some big games tonight for you, two in particular. In the NUIC and the Big Northern Conference, we're going to get to those in a minute.
We'll also run through the Nick Tins action with Tim Bailey. And I'll spotlight two newcomers to the Jefferson Jayhawks who are hoping to help the Jayhawks in their long playoff drought.
We launch into the highlights now with the Whopper and Byron. The Tigers hosted the Dixon Dukes. They had a classic last year, Drew.
It was easily one of the best games I've ever seen at the high school level. Byron won by 1 point in the final seconds and went on to win the Big Northern Conference Championship. So let's see if the rematch was anything like that one. It's the Gillies Heating and Air Conditioning Game of the Week. It was at Byron's newly renovated Everett Stein Stadium. Let's jump to the second quarter. Byron leads 7-0. I'm going to be honest, this Tigers team is so loaded this year. We all know about the upperclassmen, but check out sophomore Landon Bonvalet. He goes over 60 yards for the long touchdown. It's like a valet service escorting him all the way to the end zone. All right, let's go over to Dixon's offense. But guess what? It's a Byron highlight. QB1 Andrew Talbert jumps the route and takes this into the red zone. This kid is an incredible athlete. He can really do it all over the football field and the baseball diamond. You know it's not Byron highlights without Caden Considine. Well, here he is, lowering the shoulder and in for 6. Byron led 20-0 at half, a little bit different from last year. Coach Shaner fooled me here. He calls a direct snap to the running back, Landon Carnegie, and the Dukes finally get on the board. Dixon back with the ball, but not for long. Struggles with the handoff, leads the ball in the turf. Who else but the fastest kid on the field, Andrew Talbert with the scoop and score. Byron was literally running away with this one, scoring on both sides of the ball. They beat Dixon 28-7.
All right, impressive win. You know, a lot of people thought this might be Dixon's year, or at least this was going to be a tight game, but from what you just showed us there, it looked like Byron was in complete control.
Scott, they have so many weapons, it's scary. I mean, you just don't know who's going to get the ball, and if they get the ball, they might take it for 6. I just feel like they're always subbing in different guys who have all crazy speed, who can take it all the way.
Yeah, they certainly made a statement tonight. And the Bonvalet kid, who's just a sophomore, They told me during the practices at the beginning of August, watch out for this guy, and we just saw him there.
Speed, power, elusiveness, they got it all.
Yeah, they're loaded. All right, let's check out some more Big Northern action just south of Byron in Oregon.
The Hawks hosted the Lutheran Crusaders. I hope you're hungry because here comes Keaton Salisbury. And he's serving up some Salisbury steak. Easy walk-in touchdown for the Hawks. Let's jump to the next drive. They go back to the steak. It's all you can eat. Check out the moves. This Oregon team has some shifty backs. We saw the steak. Now let's see the deuce. Number 2, Cooper Johnson follows his blockers. He's spamming buttons, stiff arm, juke, spin move. The kid is a cheat code. The Hawks will go right back to Mr. Johnson. Beautiful blocking by the big boys. He goes in untouched. The Hawks improved to 2-0. They defeated Lutheran 40-8.
Cheat code, huh? I'm not sure what that is. All right, also in the Big Northern Conference, Stillman Valley holds off to Noah Kingston 14-7. The Vikings handle the Rockets 21-14. The Rockets not all that bad this year. And in a non-conference game, Clinton beat Winnebago 22-14.
Before we do anything else, let's reveal the winner of our Overtime Athlete of the Week contest.
Athlete of the Week is brought to you by McCluskey, Kessler & Associates. Our finalists were Harlem's Braxton Fawcett, Rochelle's Dylan Manning, Oregon's Cooper Johnson, and Lena Winslow's Alex Schlichting. We gave you all this week to cast your vote.
And the winner is Braxton Fawcett. Almost 13,000 votes were placed. Fawcett ran away with grabbing 62% of the votes. Congratulations to Braxton on a great week. We're on to tonight's other big game next.
The much anticipated battle in Lena between the Panthers and the Stockton Blackhawks. Don't go away.
As much as the folks in Byron and Dixon were looking forward to their game tonight, the same could be said out in Lena.
Yeah, let's call this one the other game of the week. The Stockton Blackhawks and Lena Winslow Panthers might be the two best teams in the state in Class 1A. There's no doubt they are both loaded. So let's get out to Lena for this one. And as if the matchup for this game wasn't enough to pique everyone's interest, this is also the first game played on Lee Wynn's new turf field with the new bleachers and all. Community Bank Stadium, they're calling it. This is Sharp Field and Stadium. Stockton on the opening drive. Miles Mann is there for the big-time tackle for the Panthers. But Stockton kept marching downfield. Noah Larson rolls out. He has Eli Larson down to about the 20-yard line. Stockton here at the 1. It's Noah Larson on the keeper at the bottom of the pile for the TD. Larson and the Blackhawks go for 2. It's Noah Larson again getting the points and an impressive start for Stockton. Lee Wynn looking to respond on his first possession. It's Alex Schlichting. He's going to get outside. Do we have our first Schlichting TD of the season? He's got one man to beat. That's Noah Larson. Schlichting gets a nice block from Jaden Schubert, but Aiden Larson catches up and makes a touchdown-saving tackle. Panthers then give it to Aiden Wild, and he has a touchdown with a great effort. The two-point conversion try, though, failed. Stockton would answer that. Noah Larson again going up top. And Morgan Haas is wide open for the touchdown. It was 16-6. Second quarter, Noah Larson again going up top. And a great grab by Haas again for another touchdown. Stockton was in complete control most of the night. Tip of the cap to Coach Downey and his coaching staff for Stockton. They had a great game plan and great play calls. Stockton stuns Lee Wynn 38-14. In Dakota, the Indians hosted Forston in an NUIC game. Opening kickoff, Forston's Jonathan Milnes on the return. He's a speedster. He will break it. No chance for Dakota to catch him. That's a Cardinals touchdown. Dakota next is pinned deep in its own territory. The counter handoff here, and that's going nowhere. Great defense by the Cardinals. Dakota will try it again with Jaden Gordon, and he will get stuffed. Moments later, Connor Polish will take it the distance. Forston defeats Dakota 50-14.
Also in the NUIC, the Rivermen take down the Steamers 34-21. EPC defeats Morrison 22-0. And in a non-conference game, Galena defeats Benton 34-14.
Here are some other scores from around the area. The Maroons defeat the Spartans 21-20. DeKalb defeats Chicago Phillips 26-8. In 8-man football, Hiawatha beat Harvest Christian 50-0. Amboy defeated Christian Life 64-12. Milledgeville defeated Abundant Life 46-20. Polo beats Flanagan 40-20. And West Central defeated AFC 18-6. Now, we have not forgotten about the Nick 10.
We have a lot of that coming up next, including the Freeport Pretzels hosting the Belvedere North Blue Thunder.
All right, when teams lose their season openers, they're itching to get right back on the field and try again for that first win.
Yeah, and that describes the Boylan Titans and the East E-Rabs. Boylan lost a close one to Freeport last week. East lost overtime to Jefferson. First quarter, E-Rabs gonna get in the red zone here. Jared Quist powers through to the end zone for the only score in the entire first half. We'll head on over to Boylan's ball. Dominic Cacciatore slings the slant pass to Tommy Hernandez for 20-plus yards and a first down. Let's jump to a fourth down. Cacciatore overthrows Hernandez, and East's defense creates turnover on downs. Second quarter, Cacciatore rolls around, fires a deep ball, but it's picked off by E-Rab defender Damian Allen. Boylan defeated the E-Rabs 21-7. Let's talk about this one with our Nick 10 analyst, Tim Bailey.
Yeah, that's right. Tim, this was your first look at these two teams. So what do you think of their Titans, their strong points, their weak points? They did get the W.
Yeah, I thought they played well tonight, particularly in the second half. But then the first half, a little lackluster performance in the first half. Really took them a while, really, to get going. And, you know, I was sitting there on the sideline, and I'm like, okay, is this what this year is going to be about? You know, this Boylan very lethargic offense that I saw. But what they were able to do in the second half was nothing short of been phenomenal. They went in at halftime down 7 on the road versus East. East played a good job as well, but Boylan, what they did tonight, they came back, they fought hard. The playmakers got hot, and the Hernandez brothers got hot, and then also two Gates got hot. But what Cacciatore did in the second half compared to the first half was like night and day. He really stepped up to get those Titans that victory that they got tonight against East.
East got shut out last week in that overtime loss to Jefferson. They only had one way to go, and that was up. Do you think this offense is going to get going?
I think it is. I think the offense will get going. I think what they need to do, continue just to pound the ball on the ground as they did tonight. But as it relates to their offense, I think they have to find that spark at the quarterback play in order for them to be able to actually win games, let alone stay in games.
All right, Tim, we're going to keep you around for some more thoughts here in just a minute, but let's check out tonight's other Nick 10 games. It was a beautiful night at the Pretzel Bowl where Freeport hosted Belvedere North. I tell you what, Freeport's defense is pretty solid, especially big number 59, Israel Goodman, who grabs Andrew Bucci and throws him down for the loss. Check out this play now. Eric Roman in motion in the backfield, takes the pitch, and he's going to throw it. And Nathan Alexander has it for a big gain, but that drive ended in a missed field goal attempt. Now let's ISO on Roman playing linebacker, only here he's in the down position, and here he comes. He's going to go right up the middle with it for the sack. He's pretty good. That's your defensive MVP a year ago. Now pay attention because Ben Booker is about to make a house call. He takes a pitch, and here he comes. And how do you do, Ben Booker? A 45-yard touchdown salute there. Belvedere North defeated Freeport 21-0. All right, the other Nick 10 game was in Rockton.
Hononegah hosted Jefferson. Tyler Sorensen covered that one for us. He's here with the lowdown. Tyler?
Hi, guys. Yeah, the Indians and the Jayhawks didn't exactly light it up last week in their openers, but both got wins under their belts. So the winner tonight would have a very good feeling about starting a 2-0 to the season. Now, the Jayhawks opening drive, quarterback Jaden Williams rolls out, but is not able to. He's taken down by Keegan Vansel. Get the sack in the celebration as well. Now, Hononegah with the ball. Quarterback Bryce Berg drops back, lofts it up to Logan Wilson, who climbs the ladder with that one. Isn't able to get it into the end zone, but hey, why not give it to the running back on the very next play, who's just able to waltz in, basically untouched, and hits the extra point for the Indians as they go up 7-0. After a quick 3-0, Hononegah with the ball. Berg gives it to Brady Jarvis on the end run, who, guess what, hits the afterburners and takes it to the house, as the Indians would also hit the extra point again, making it up 14-0. Now the kickoff would pin the Jayhawks back in their opening territory as Williams gives it to the running back, who gets stripped by Jack Ginter. Who's there to pick it up? None other than number 1, Brady Jarvis. As, hey, might as well make it again, as if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Indians give it back to Banker once again, who hits the circle button and gives it to Waltz into the end zone. Now Jefferson would be able to score, but at the end it was too late, as the Indians would take this one 28-12. Now Hononegah looks strong and fast, guys. I feel that if it's difficult to stop them, if they're able to keep this momentum going to the next weeks. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Tyler. There will be 2 more games tomorrow. Harlem will play at Auburn, and that's a noon kickoff. Then under the lights, Belvedere will play at Guilford.
And that game was supposed to be played tonight at Belvedere, but they have some issues with Funderburg Stadium caused by the big storm that went through Belvedere recently, so that's why we have a strange Saturday night game in the Nick 10. All right, Tim's been standing by. Tim, Belvedere North got the big win last week against Guilford and came out strong tonight at Freeport. You talked to North coach Jeff Beck earlier this week on your podcast. He's got to be really happy right now that the Thunder is sitting 2-0.
Yeah, he's excited, on the podcast. He just really talked about, very candidly, how important it is for his guys to stay locked in and continue to fight each and every week, and to understand that, on any given Friday night, in the Nick 10, you can go down. So, their preparation is a big key for them. He discussed, their preparation, what they do, week in and week out to be able to prepare for these teams and go out and try to steal a victory. So he's excited. He doesn't want these kids to get too lackadaisical, so to speak. So, I think we're going to be talking about Belvedere North here for the weeks to come.
Hononegah is also 2-0. How much have we learned about them and how strong they are this season? Are they up to the normal Hano standards over there?
By tonight's showing, I think they are. I think, sometimes it takes teams a while just to get the, knock the rust off, so to speak, a little bit. But, I think, what they did tonight against a good Jefferson team was nothing short of phenomenal. I think that team, too, we're going to be sitting here talking about those guys here in the next, 4, 5, 6 weeks as well. So I'm not surprised at what they did tonight. But I think, there's some things that they need to fix. They're well coached, and I think they'll do that. They'll fix those things.
Tomorrow, Belvedere Guilford looks like a mismatch on paper, but how about Harlem at Auburn? I'm looking forward to seeing the Huskies play and get my first look at them in person. What do you think of that matchup, Harlem-Auburn?
I think it's going to be a great matchup. I mean, look what Auburn did with Hononegah last week by staying in that game. As it relates to Harlem, I think Harlem's, they're young at the quarterback position. It seems like this young man, Fawcett, went out last week. in his debut as a sophomore and had a really great game against a Belvedere team. But it's going to be a good matchup. I think we're going to see a really, really good game tomorrow between two great teams, and then you got two great coaches on both sides of the ball.
All right, before we say goodbye to Tim, let's do our question of the week. Here it is. Which Nick 10 team will be the first to 5 wins? Looking ahead to the big games coming up. Next week, Harlem at Hononegah. In 2 weeks, Hononegah plays at Guilford. Then in week 5, Guilford plays at Harlem. So, Tim, who's going to be the first team to pick up 5 wins this season? Huh?
You got to go with Belvedere North, with the strength that they have, on offense and the strength that they have on defense and the actual offense and defensive display that they put up last week in that big victory over Guilford at home, and then they go on the road to Freeport. So, yeah, I got to go. My pick right now is definitely Belvedere North.
Drew, real quick.
I agree.
Belvedere North?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm going to make it unanimous, too, especially since they don't have one of those big games coming up in the next 3 weeks.
All right, folks, if you want more from Tim on Nick 10 football, check out the Bailey Pod. You can find a new episode on YouTube every Thursday. This week, he's joined by Belvedere North head coach Jeff Beck, Matt Trowbridge, and Harold Bone.
All right. Thank you, Tim,
Appreciate
as
you guys.
always.
Appreciate you.
All right. Our Spotlight segment's up next.
We're heading over to Jefferson, and I'll spotlight them up next. The transfer portal in college football has lots of players on the move. Well, there are also a lot of high school players moving around these days. In Rockford, 2 of them have landed at Jefferson this year. They could be big difference makers for the Jayhawks. That's tonight's Spotlight story brought to you by Rockford Career College. 2 of Jefferson's best players this season have been a part in the transfer process over the last few years. Quarterback Jaden Williams started his high school football career at Rockford Christian. He started at the varsity level as a freshman and sophomore. As a sophomore, he led the Big Northern Conference in passing yards and even had double-digit passing touchdowns. But going into his junior year, Rockford Christian was down on numbers and moved to 8-man football. Williams ended up at Boylan Catholic last season, where he split time at quarterback. Going into his senior year, splitting reps at QB did not seem ideal. So a full-time QB1 role at Jefferson became reality, and Williams is now a Jayhawk.
I was getting half the reps, so I decided to come here to get full reps. That was really the main thing. I feel great. I've been with them since November, ever since I transferred. Been throwing with them, getting to know them, all the playbook and everything.
Jefferson's starting running back has a similar story. Donzel D-Train Ingram Love is playing at his 4th high school. His freshman year, he played at Rockford Christian. His sophomore year, he went down to Georgia to play high school ball down there. And then his junior year, he returned to the state line to play at Boylan. Last year, he only played 8 games because of injuries, but in those 8 games, he was a monster. On offense, he averaged over 9 yards per rush with 10 total touchdowns. On the other side of the ball, he had 40 tackles, 12 for loss, 3 sacks, and 3 forced fumbles as a linebacker.
When I came here, Coach Kazaza, he opened me in with open arms. He asked me when I first got here, he was like, "You want to run the ball?" I said, "I want to run the ball, Coach." He said, "You came to the right place."
Coach Cody Kazaza believes it's about buying into the program. The Jefferson Jayhawks program is on the rise. Adding talented players and building upon the talent is a big key to their success.
Yeah, it's been almost a seamless transition, honestly. Jaden's come in, and Jaden's had 100% command of the offense since he's been here. He's a really intelligent kid. He's a really motivated kid, and he's a leader by example. Same thing with Donzel. He's come in and he's really provided a spark that we kind of needed competitively out here at practice.
D-Train and Williams are confident in this Jayhawks team.
Just be ready when we play us. We hear all the bad talks about us, how we're going to be 0-9, 0-8, and 1-8. We just hear that and we're using it as motivation.
This season, Jefferson, we have a nice squad. I feel very confident with my team. We got players like Michael Townsend. We got players like Jaden Williams at quarterback. We got Julius Hope, in the front line. I feel more confident with this line than any team I've played with.
The Jayhawks started their season with a Week 1 win over East. That's already half the amount of wins they had all of last season.
Our goal is to make playoffs and break that long streak that they have.
The Jayhawks haven't made the playoffs since 1993. That is the longest drought in the Nick 10.
The longest by a mile. We're going to be right back. It's time for our Napleton Auto Group Play of the Night.
The top play caught on our cameras. Let's go over to Byron and Dixon. This was the second quarter. Byron was leading 7-0. How about the sophomore Landon Bonvalet? He's going to take this one, hit the outside, and he goes for over 60 yards. Scott, this kid has some wheels.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I mean, it's nice to be a coach at Byron, right? When you actually, it's probably hard to, if you're calling the plays, it's like, okay, who do I want to give it to this time? Because you got so many options there. It's like, you know, going into an ice cream parlor and there's 38 flavors. It takes me forever to pick one, you know?
Yeah.
But Bonvalet's something else. So there you go, Big Northern folks. You got yet another weapon to deal with from the Byron Tigers. All right, that's our play of the day.
We'll be right back here with you every Friday night through the season right here on Fox 39.
Next week, we're going to be on a bit later around 11:30, immediately following Fox's coverage of the Kansas State-Arizona football game. You can also catch Overtime on our digital platforms.
You can also get highlights and scores anytime on our website, mystateline.com. That's it for this show.
Thanks for watching and enjoy your weekend.